It's that time again, guys. It's time for my May wrap-up. Hey guys, it's Jenny. Welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy. It's time for my May wrap-up. I didn't do as good as usual in the past few months. I've been doing between 13 and 16 books, somewhere in there, in a month. Well, this month I did 11. So included in that was 2 ebooks. The rest of them were all physical books. So let's just start with the ebooks. The first one was If We Ever Meet Again. This is by Anna Huang. First time read for me with this author, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed her writing style. There's 2 more books to that series, but they focus on different characters. But in If We Ever Meet Again, you have Blake and you have Farah, and they're in college and they have to study abroad overseas, and things pretty much happen. But at the end of the story, there is something that happens, and it's a complete breakdown of their relationship, and they go their separate ways. And then I read If the Sun Never Sets, also by Anna Huang, which was book 2 in the series, and it's 5 years later and they meet again, and it's very slow going, those 2 trying to, get back together, both not very trusting anymore, and just really cute romances. I really enjoyed them. I thought they were really good. I gave them both, I think, 4 stars for If We Ever Meet Again. And then, let me look here for the other one. If the Sun Never Sets was also 4 stars. And I have a couple other books that I want to read by her. So we'll see. We'll see when that happens. Then the next book I read was actually a buddy read, and that one was called Billy Summers, and this was by Stephen King. I read this with 2 of my really good friends from our Goodreads group, Sarah and Mary, and it really started out being really, really good. You have this guy who is a hired killer. He was, I believe he was in the Navy. He was a sharpshooter. I can't remember what armed service he was in. But anyway, it started out really good. He was convinced that he was only killing people that were bad, so it was okay. But then it turned a little political, because you went through this whole time of him being in the armed service, and it just kind of went downhill for me. I mean, the last bit of the book was okay, but I only ended up rating this 3.5 stars. I usually really love Stephen King, but he got a little too political for my tastes in this one, and I ended up with 3.5 stars. But it is a decent enough read. I won't tell you not to read it, but Stephen King, he is my go-to author, and this doesn't happen very often. So the book was just okay for me. And then, as you guys know, I started my Throne of Glass series. It was for Series-a-thon, and I got through all of these. I'm not going to pick up every single book that I read, but I started with The Assassin's Blade, and I think I mentioned this before. I looked it up and did some research, and people said you either read this before the series or after The Heir of Fire, and I decided that more people said read it first, and I agree. This is definitely a great start to the series. This is all about Selena before her journey through the Throne of Glass. This talks about everything about her and Sam and where her life started, and so impactful, this series. Just, I can't even say enough good about it, because I feel like every book just got better. And I know there's a lot of people with mixed reviews and ideas about it, but I actually just loved each and every single book, and I've rated every single one of these books 5 stars. I just whipped through them. I felt like I was going to have a hard time, because these books got super big, like halfway through the series. I think the smallest one is probably Throne of Glass is probably the smallest one. But man, it just, the writing is amazing, and she just has great imagery, great world building. The characters are just phenomenal. And I think I also mentioned that, you know, they all have their flaws and they all have, you know, their little quirks and the pros and cons for each character, yet they manage to come together and just form an alliance, you know, that just is unbridled. Like, I don't know, I just loved it. I loved all the characters, and it just, I felt like I could be like right there in the midst of them with the way the imagery was written in this whole series. Like, you have to wonder, how do they get so much of this in their mind to just be able to continue to write and bring new things that make the story fresh, not repetitive. You know, I felt like when I did the other series, the New Orleans series by Lisa Jackson, at the beginning, I felt like it started to get a little repetitive. And I think that's why it just kind of drug on me a little bit. But with this one, I did not feel that repetitiveness. Every book was new. Every book had fresh ideas, fresh drama. And it was amazing. And that's really much all I can say about the series. I look forward to reading so much more of Sarah J. Maas books. Although, I mean, she doesn't have a large array of books, but I'm sure she will get there at some point. So I ended my May reading with Kingdom of Ash, which, if you saw my series-a-thon, you would know that I am still reading this one, over halfway through it, but I will finish this by the end of the month. And again, it just sucks you in. It just grabs you and it won't let go until the story is over. And I love that so much about this series. I could just go on and on and on and on, but it is too easy to give anything away. As you all know, the story is Selena's, and this is her story from start to finish. And that's all I'll say, because I'm pretty sure I know how this is going to end, but it's definitely worth the ride. It's a great journey, even though there's 8 books, and these books got huge. This one's like 980 some pages, and it goes from 400 to 500 or to 900, and it's just like, wow. And I thought I was going to struggle, and I did not struggle at all. It opens my eyes up to more fantasy, because you guys know that I do struggle with fantasy a lot of times, but this one I think was a good choice. And I read it in 2018, the first book. I read Throne of Glass, and then I just stopped. But I loved the book. I remember loving the story. And so for May, I was a little, you know, about reading it, but it was fantastic. So for this month, I ended up with 11 books, I think. 11, yes, because like I said, I will finish Kingdom of Ash by tomorrow. I intend on getting another, I mean, at least to page 900, if not, because most of this I read yesterday. So I'm looking forward to getting through this. I think I'll be sad when the series ends, though. And then I'll just be like, oh. I'm just hoping not to have like a book hangover or something. But yeah, that is my May wrap-up, guys. 11 books, still not bad. I'm sure my next month will be just as good. If you read any of these books, guys, let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Thanks for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.